So everyone that I tell about this, they're like, what the hell is an autonomic nervous system? It's this really
Yeah.
cool thing that you don't want to not work. Let me tell you that.
Yeah.
So your autonomic nervous system controls things you don't have to think about your body doing. Heart rate, blood pressure, circulation, blood flow, digestion, and so many other things. And for me, the lightheaded and dizziness, the fatigue, all of those lovely symptoms was my autonomic nervous system saying like, hey babe, something's going on, we're not working properly.
Wow.
But it took so long for me to get diagnosed because it's a physical illness. So when I would sit down with my pediatrician for my, my checkup, my physical, whatever, he was like, I don't know, it's all in your head. It's anxiety. I don't know what's going on with you. And I was like, sir, I'm not feeling well. I'm literally like not able to perform or function the way I know my body is supposed to. And during that, I was like, no, like this is not okay. And that's why I started my podcast, because I knew if I was feeling like this, not feeling well and under the circumstances I was in, someone else out there is probably believing what these doctors are saying and thinking it is in their head and that they're crazy. And I wanted to create this space about healing and wellness and health, but also reminding people they're not alone in their struggles. So that's why to this date, I have an episode for everyone on my show, because I wanted someone to feel safe and seen.
So feel me when I bring it, singing loud. I'm from the loot and I'm proud. Run a mile for the cause. I'm right.
Hi guys, it's your girl Nahama, your favorite Jew from the Lou. Welcome back to my podcast. And today I am so excited to have Rylin all the way from Florida with us. Welcome.
I'm so happy to be here. Oh my gosh, I'm so honored. You're the coolest human ever. So the fact that we're doing this makes me want to like go scream in the corner.
No, literally, and I feel the same way about you. Like I was just telling you, like you reached out to me, which beyond honored to share your story and to talk more. And honestly, as I was doing more research on you beforehand, before we've even like actually had a chance to like touch
Please
base.
forgive me. I'm so honored.
Well, I'll tell you, because my whole thing is like I have raging ADD, right? So there's no scripting, there's no pre-questions. Like sometimes I do a pregame beforehand, but like for me, it's just I really wanted to honor every guest and have their story and their opportunities to really shine. And so I was trying to figure out like what our angle was going to be for our episode, because you are so accomplished. I mean, everyone should first of all go check out her podcast. I'll do all the links down below. Remind me the name of your podcast. I suck at names.
Take Care of Your Body by RY.
Easy. Take Care of Your Body by RY. I just finished the first episode and I'm going to listen to all of it. First of all, you've got a great voice. It is so fun to listen to.
I love hearing that. Like, you've been complimenting me on that. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, wait, you're kind of right. Like, you're kind of right. Like, boost my ego for just a minute, because you're kind
Yeah.
of
Receive it.
Right.
Receive it.
No, and I feel like you get that. Like, as a podcast host, that hits so different, because I feel like we're so critical and in our own heads about our voices that it's like, wow, thank you so much. You have a great voice. So uno reverse.
Thanks. I always said, though, if I had like a British or like a South African accent or something, I would do so much better as a podcaster.
I swear, I could hear those people like all day long. I would
All day. Oh my gosh, it's the best. But I mean, like, your story is so crazy. We're gonna dive into it, but just to give everyone like a little intro of you,
Okay.
you graduated high school at 15.
Yes.
Crazy. And then you went on to college and got your bachelor's degree by the time you were 17 with like a double major.
Yes.
And then you're also you're yoga certified. And did you finish your master's at this point? Because you're 19 now, are you? What's the
19 now.
story?
I am in my second year of my master's for psychology.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's so funny, like, as we're speaking, I, like, have this burning passion to, like, and I suck at math. I think I mentioned that in my first episode. I did that so long ago. My goodness.
Yeah.
I have this burning passion. I'm like, I should go to medical school. And I'm like, no, right. Like, you
Mm.
cannot get through the math. Like, that's the thing. I suck at math. And, like, it's not just like,
Yeah.
my brain just doesn't click in that aspect. So I'm just like, but like that just is in the back of my mind every day. Like, I could be a
Yeah.
doctor. I could be a doctor, but
Yeah.
it's not my thing.
Well, I wouldn't say never, because right now, switching from graphic design to being in the coffee world, dude, there's so much to it that people don't even know. I'm like women in STEM. That's what I'm at right now.
Literally. And also, your
It's
coffee
science.
company is my favorite thing in the entire world, by the way. I love coffee. I'm obsessed with it. And when I found out that you did that and like that's the world of things that you're into, I was like, okay,
Yeah.
that's why we click. Why we're
Yeah.
gonna do an episode.
So I'm gonna give a little sneak preview, and this will be. I haven't talked about this publicly yet because I literally just made this decision last week. It's in the works, but so Lake Cafe is a premium coffee brand, right? So typically, the way I like to explain it to people is if you go to Costco, Walmart, Target, you buy a bag of coffee, it's going to be like $1 for every ounce. So
Makes
if you
sense.
buy a 12-ounce bag of coffee, it's going to be about $12. Mine's twice that amount because it's a premium coffee bean and it is just an art to roast to that level. But not everybody has the price point where they can necessarily afford that. And I'm just a girl. I'm just learning how to like navigate adulthood and how to navigate the coffee world because it comes across a lot of times as very like exclusive and a little condescending, you know? And I'm the girl who drank instant coffee growing up, and I'm learning the premium side of coffee now, which is so cool. So if I can do it, anyone could do it. And I'm literally just a girl, like I said. So I'm creating a burner brand called Just a Girl Coffee Club.
I'm obsessed with that. That's so cute.
Wait, I
Stop.
will have to send you the logo later. It's
I will
adorable.
scream because I feel like that's gonna hit so many like different generations, especially like
Yeah.
our whole thing is like
Yeah.
just a girl. I'm literally just a girl. Like, oh my God, I'm
Yep.
obsessed. Obsessed.
Just a girl, and then Just a Girl Coffee Club. And then the branding is like very pink, very cutesy. And like it's not going to be like, oh, we have our typical lineup of coffee. It's basically all my experimentation that I'm sharing with the world.
I
And
love that.
so there'll be like drops like, oh, I'm exploring this region. And like it will be at a cheaper price point because I'm going to be utilizing beans. Because part of being a business owner, I'm not a math girl either. But I've learned that I like money and I'm obsessed with like being financially free and wealth. And in order to do that, you have to learn to count your pennies, which I like to spend the dollars, but I don't really like to
Wait,
count the
who likes
pennies.
to do math? If you typically like to do math, you're lying. Like I
Yeah.
don't care.
But there's so much freedom in that. And that's what I'm learning, I guess, now that I just turned 30 in April. And
You don't look like you're 30, by the way. Just letting you know.
really,
Yeah.
thanks.
I thought you were like 20.
Growing up, when I was like your age, when I was 19, I had like really chubby cheeks and like a round face. And I
Aw.
was like, it was the worst. It was the worst. And my family was like, don't worry about it. By the time you're 30, you're going to look young while everyone else is looking older. So I guess it worked out in my favor. So
I
I'll
mean,
take
what were
it.
you eating growing up? Like, come on. I need to know.
Yeah.
I need to
Nothing good. I got no secrets. Thank you to my mom, I guess.
I
She has
mean, we
good
love
genes.
moms. We love moms.
That was another thing. I was like you at the end of your episode, you were giving like shout out to your mom and like how she's a single mom and how much you love her. And like, I'm like, I love my mom too. Like I am such a fangirl, and like we're both like, I love to meet another woman who like has such a beautiful relationship with her mother, because I think sometimes it's something that if you have it, you take it for granted.
1000%.
Even though you appreciate your mom, you like don't realize just how lucky you are to have a good relationship. So that's
I like her.
awesome.
No, I would be nowhere.
Oh, wait, guys, I also need to mention she's a published author. How many books have you written?
2.
That's insane. You're 19. I'm still like, oh, I'll be an author one day. You're so cool.
I have my own publishing company, so I'll publish your book for you. I got you.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. So when I decided I wanted to like finally put my story out there, I sat down with 2 publishers and they were like,
Yeah,
"You're too young. I'm not publishing your book." So I went home and I was like, "Okay, I'm going to start my own company." I
I love
created an
it.
LC. It's called Take Care Press. So now I have the ability to publish other authors.
Wait, hell yeah, girl. I'm going to publish through you. I've
Let's
got 2 books in mind that I want to
do
do.
it. Let's do it.
And okay, because I've been listening to a lot of podcasting about like entrepreneurship and business. Um, I have like there's so many hours in the day where I'm working at the coffee warehouse where either I'm roasting or I'm doing packaging and fulfillment where I've got hours. So
Right.
I binge podcasts. So I'm so excited about yours. How many
Oh,
episodes do you have? I was
yeah.
scrolling and I'm like, damn.
Over 180. I've been consistent. Like I'm the type of person I will publish if I'm sitting in the ER, a podcast is going up. Like it does not matter where
Yeah.
it's at. Like if I'm on vacation, a podcast is going up. Like my audience needs to be fed.
And they are.
I sound like a
So
Jewish
are
person. I know
you
I know
doing it
you
once a
struggle with
week or what's your schedule?
that. So I do them I record mostly every day, so I'll, like, hop on a Zoom call with, like, some really cool guests, and what's cool about that is I feel like the conversation isn't just for, like, my audience, it's almost for me, like, it's weird.
Yeah.
Almost have these conversations that I need to hear that day, so I'm like, "This is so healing." It's like talking to a, like, really educated friend, um,
Yeah.
like doctors or dietitians or people with these inspiring stories, and I'm like, "Wow, I needed that. I'm having a bad
Yeah.
day," whatever. So I'll record mostly every day, and then I'll release every Wednesday and Saturday.
Oh my gosh, dude, I just had an idea. I should send you my coffee. You could be a brand ambassador for me, and then we can work out a deal where, like, maybe
You
we could
sponsor
have a
it.
commercial
Let's do it.
and I
I'm
could sponsor
honored.
that on your
I've
podcast.
been looking for that. So
Do
there we
you have, at this point, because I know I'm in the beginning of your podcast, do you now have, like, sponsorships and, like, ads in your podcast?
I have not been able to find anyone that wanted to bite, I think because of the state of the economy, which is so stressful and annoying. I've
Yeah.
pitched emails, but people are just like, "At this time, we don't have the funding," so I'd be honored to do it with you.
Okay. We'll
Yeah.
talk. We'll talk. Because I've been thinking about this too. So I've also had that thing where it's like, for me, I'm always looking at it from a business perspective of I wanted to make it worthwhile for people, you know?
Right, no, 1,000%, and I
Yeah.
love coffee, and I'm not just gonna be one of those, like, fake models that's like, "Drink this," and then never touches it. I will be chugging it every single day, so
As you
you send
should.
it to me, it will be used.
Okay. I love that. Oh my gosh. Okay, so fun. So
Yeah.
hey, let's dive into the beginning. How
Okay.
did you come to finish school at 15? That is insane.
Okay, so let me, like, kind of clarify this. I don't want people sitting there like, "Damn, she's like young Sheldon." I mean, maybe, I
Yeah.
so growing up, I had chronic asthma, which in Florida, mold and mildew is abundantly present, so those were my triggers.
Yeah.
And to go to school, I would be on massive amounts of steroids as well as other asthma medication, and it was so frustrating because when I would go to school, I was really sick and not well, and my lungs would burn, and I'd cough, and I would not feel well because, well, the environment I was in was making me sick. And
Yeah.
other times, I would be in the hospital or at home because I couldn't make it to school, and this kind of followed me throughout adolescence, so it was very frustrating, and when COVID hit, I decided that I was gonna take that, time of uncertainness and what we didn't really know was what was gonna come to be, and I became a yoga instructor because I had really bad anxiety, so I was like, "I'm just gonna do yoga for anxiety," and it made me feel so good respiratory-wise and just
Uh-huh.
overall, and I consistently started doing that, and I was like, "Now I wanna help other people." I became a yoga instructor, I also really focused on nutrition and health and wellness, and then I was like, "I am not going to go back to an environment that makes me feel physically unwell," and
Yeah.
I decided to continue on with my education, so I was doing online middle school classes with my, like, Broward County school that was normally in person, and then I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna just accelerate," and I was taking Florida virtual school classes at the same time when kids my age were playing video games and goofing off, and I ended up going into in-person high school, so it would have been my ninth grade year as a
Mhm.
senior because of
Wow.
all the classes I finished, and my sister was actually a
Wow.
senior at the time. So, I graduated with her, which she was not happy about, as you heard in the podcast. She was like, "Why is my
Yeah.
sister graduating?" And then it was cool because she was salutatorian, so I got to, like, you know, be in the spot that she would have sat in if she wasn't on the stage. So it was really a full circle moment, and I love her, and she's proud of me, but older siblings, oof, you know how it goes. They don't want to
Yeah.
fight with you.
Yeah. No, it's funny because I've got 2 older brothers. I've got one who's 8 years older than me and one who's 10 years older than me. So, yeah.
Yeah, they don't want their moment's their moment and your moment's your moment, but I'm really grateful for that path because I think everything we go through leads us to where we are today, and I'm grateful for that because, at the time, kids my age sent me nasty messages and didn't understand why I did what I did, but yeah, I was smart enough to do it, but I also didn't really have any other choice because I don't know what would have happened to me physically if I did not do that path, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, some other health issues, unwinded after, and I'll talk about that. But, I really am curious if I didn't take that, path of things, what my life would have become. But I'm grateful that I'll never know because I don't know. That's boring.
Right. And like you mentioned before in your podcast too, like everything happens exactly like it's supposed to, you
Exactly.
know?
It does.
But it's just I can't believe that kids your age sent you mean messages
They're
about
so
that,
mean.
like
They're like, "What about prom? What about this?" And I was like, "What about my health and my physical state of well-being?" Prom doesn't matter. Like, I'm not gonna be 80 years old and worry about my prom because what? I would have been with some guy that I didn't really like, or I would never talk
yeah.
to him again, and drinking juice and, having a night out that probably wouldn't matter. Like, at the end of the day, for me, if it won't matter in 5 years, I'm not gonna give it 5 minutes, and that's
Mm,
something I've taken with me along through my life, but on the weighted scale, prom, my health wins, you know?
absolutely, 100%. And it's also so funny to me because, like, yeah, high school can be really fun. There's a lot of classic memories, but, like, if you are basing your peak from high school and then that's the best,
That's
like,
the best
that's
you are? I'm concerned, like,
I'm
let's just be a
concerned.
psychologist, babe, like, why are we not peaking and growing and changing? I think you should grow and change every single year. You should have, like,
Yeah.
one cool moment where you're like, "Wow, I did that this year, I'm gonna do something cooler next year." Like, you need to
Yeah.
challenge yourself. If you're the same as you were when you were 18 or in my case, 15, you're doing something wrong.
So, I mean, we're gonna go continue on with your journey, but just a little sidebar, little
Right.
ADD distraction moment. What like for you, you're still so young, but at 19, what would you say like at the moment is your like best milestone moment looking back that you're like, "Oh, that was a great year." Like I'm so proud of that year.
I would say, like, just turning 18 because, in my first book, I talk a lot about this. Like, so many people were like, "Oh, when you turn 18, things will change in your life." And, like, just, yeah, they did. But what changed was I became a published author and my podcast grew. And just, I really put myself out there and built this whole, like, presence that I have now. And I think just, like, looking at that, it's like, wow, like, they said it would change and I made it change. Like, I rewrote the story. So I would say just being 18 and publishing my first book and just, realizing like, was life perfect at that time? No, like I really got the idea for my second book during that whole time period because I was missing certain things in my life emotionally, but I was like standing and I was like, damn, I did this. Like I overcame so much and I put my story out there and I really like defined the odds. And I think that was my moment. Like, holy shit.
Yeah. It's not easy to like put yourself out there, especially like being a published author, like when you're in person telling your story, it's a little easier because you could almost like explain
Right,
yourself.
exactly. No,
But
and
then
like
if people are just reading you,
right, they're reading you and they're interpreting it, and like I was telling you before we started recording, like, I'm so empathetic and I'm so kind-hearted, so when people unfollow or, say nasty stuff, I'm like, "Why don't you like me, please, I'm so
yeah,
sweet." But it's like, sometimes we're a reflection for people and they're not ready to heal or meet themselves where we're met, and people can only meet us where they've met them
yeah,
they can only meet themselves where we're bleh, words. They can only meet
yeah.
us where they've met themselves.
If it helps, I was the same way for so long, like, and by so long, I mean, like, a month ago.
Real, right? Real.
Right. But, like, I used to really be, like, when I would lose a follower, even just one follower, I'd be like, "What happened? Like, what did I do?" And just, like, spiral. And then I realized that there's just the my world revolves around me, but not everyone else's does.
1,000%. People aren't gonna resonate with what we post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, people unfollow for all kinds of reasons. Like, Instagram, I've changed so I have 3 platforms, and I've changed my approach to who I follow because I'm really trying to be strategic with, like, what I'm taking in. So, on Le Cafe, my coffee account, I only follow my personal page, that's it. And then on my podcast page, I only follow guests and their businesses. And then on my personal page, God, I had over like 600 followers. And like, it's the type where you're following someone from high school who you're not even, they're not
Right.
even in your contacts on your phone
No.
anymore. Or like, the people you
Right.
follow who don't even post anything, they just have a profile, but you know them. So you're following them.
Right.
Or people are posting things that I'm like, this isn't adding value to my life.
1,000%.
Love you, but like I just don't really I really want to curate my For You page.
Oh, no.
So I unfollowed a lot of people and it was not malicious. It wasn't like anything to do with them as a person. It was just me being ruthless about what am I consuming.
I agree, and I think, like, mental health is so important, and what we consume affects how we view ourselves sometimes, and, like,
Yeah.
I've said it on my podcast before, if my content, for whatever reason, makes you uncomfortable, maybe you're not on that healing journey yet, for whatever it is, please unfollow. Like, yeah, maybe I'll spiral about it a little bit, but then, I realize, like, you're just making space for someone more aligned.
Yeah. Oh, I was literally gonna say that. I heard that recently with money. You know how like sometimes with money you spend
Mhm.
it and you're like, "Ugh, I can't believe gas costs this much." But
Right.
then it's like, no, but I'm like, every time it happens, you say like God, source, universe, you're just like, "Thank you for this $40 bill." And like, I know that that's gonna come back to me and
1,000%.
tenfold.
1,000%. And it's like,
Yeah.
it's interesting how the universe works. I really believe, again, everything happens for a reason and things are removed from our lives for reasons that we don't know sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so getting back on track, you graduated at 15. And
Yes.
then I know in your podcast, I'm going to spill the beans a little bit. You were saying that you made like a business plan and presented it to your mom about what was your next move. So let's dive into that a little bit.
So at that time, because I feel like when you tell your mom or whoever, I'm going to graduate high school at 15, they're like, why? Like, what do you want to do after that? Like, let's make sure you're going to be productive with that time. And at that time, I was like, I'm going to go to school. I'm going to become a registered dietitian. And then I'm going to open this like 2-story fitness cafe with
Wow.
different resources for people with like certain needs. So I wanted to have like mental health services as well as like registered dietitians working there giving nutritional advice, and then like a cafe inclusive for all like different lifestyles, gluten-free, vegan, vegetarian,
Yeah.
etc. And then I wanted like fitness classes at the like second floor. So it was gonna be like this really healing space. And she was like, wow, like I'm gonna get you a truck. Like when you're 16, like then you can load everything into it. And I did get a
Yeah.
truck because I did research and they're like the safest vehicle. And also it's like badass when a woman leaves a truck with like high heels on. Like
Yeah.
so I do have a little red truck, but that
Love
was
that for
the business
you.
plan, and she was like, "Okay, like, we're gonna do this." Like, I'm supportive, and I just was like, "People probably think I'm crazy," but I, like, was thinking about it when I was literally in my journalism class and in my business class that I had at the time, and I was like, "I'm, like, gonna do this." Meanwhile, people next to me are probably like, "I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna drink alcohol, or I'm gonna do this weekend," and I was like, "Maybe there is something wrong with me, but not in a bad way." Like, I'm just so ahead, and that's when I
Yeah.
realized, like, I wasn't thinking on the same level as the people next to me, and that's okay.
Yeah. Is that lonely sometimes?
I feel like at that time it was, and I thought it was, but, I don't think you can't find the right thing in the wrong room, and I was
Oh,
sitting in a room with people who didn't understand, what I went through as a kid or what I endured, and it's not their fault, like, they just haven't had that life experience yet, and you can't
yeah.
force someone to be put in shoes that they've never needed to walk in, and, in high school, I was, like, kinda upset because I was, like, in my own little world with people who didn't really get me, and that's what I hated about school. It's like, see friends with all these people, like, it's this box, and you have selective people that don't really think the same as you,
Uh-huh.
and I had my sister, and I'm really glad I did because she would eat lunch with me, and we'd hang out, and we'd talk, and
Oh, cute.
she got me, and she got my brain. She was like, "You're not too much. These people are losers," and I was like, "Alright,
That's
whatever."
right.
Yeah, exactly. So and then what was cool is, like, after that, when I started what's now Take Care of Your Body by Rye, my podcast, it was Recipes by Rye, and I would share, like, health recipes, and it was such a cute little, like, page that now again is my podcast page, but I just found, like, this community of people that understood me, and that's when I really realized, like, wow, like, it wasn't me, it was the space that I was in.
Yeah. I'm so happy for you that you, like, found this, like, at
It
such a
was
young age, honestly, like,
you.
it
Me
took
too.
me so long to get to where you're at, and, like, I could say now at 30 to have found it is so incredible, and it's so interesting that space that you're talking about, is that still a dream? Is that still a game plan for
Well,
you?
it still is, but now that I'm gonna, like, pursue psychology and become a psychologist, I think,
Mhm.
like, I might add different element to it where there's gonna be more mental health counseling and maybe some chronic illness awareness because of the illness I deal with, and I'll talk about that later, but,
Yeah.
I want just a space where all these, like, people are, and you don't need to, run through town and try and find different specialists. I mean, if you need it, it's here, you can heal here, it's a safe spot, you can do homework here, eat a snack here, there's so much going on where you can take care of your body instead of needing to drive all through town trying to find a chiropractor or a psychologist or a dietitian. It's all in one little hub. And I don't know, I
Yep.
see a vision for it. So I think it will happen.
You're gonna have to take a trip to St. Louis when my place opens because I my coffee shop is going to be I'm working towards having a brick and mortar, and it's right across from this wellness hub that is so similar to the vision that you're talking
Look
about.
up, I need to
It
come.
has it started as a CrossFit gym, but it's such a huge space that they've, like, just through the universe, they've been attracting the right like-minded,
I
awesome
love that.
people. So in there now is like there's a CrossFit gym, there's a regular gym, there is a Olympic weightlifting gym, a kickboxing gym. They're getting a pole dancing studio in there. There's a
Ooh,
Pilates studio upstairs. There's a chiropractor, a massage therapist, a physical therapist, and they also just got a clinic in the back called Move, which is like a they have chapters like all over the US and they do all kinds of functional medicine. So like GLPs, um, and all kinds of infusions and IVs and stuff like that.
I love
So
that. Like, that's what we need
yeah,
more of. Instead of, like, being so lost in the wellness space, it's all in one place for you.
exactly. And like everyone is collaborating and doing events together because they're like under the umbrella of the Wellness Hub. They're each their own businesses, which is brilliant. Um, yeah, I think you definitely would be so inspired by that. But I was also thinking, because my brain isn't shut off, I'm like, I just have like business ideas all the time.
That's why we do what we do, right?
Literally, we should collab on a coffee and there should be like a specific like roast region, whatever. We'll figure it out. That's like what you love. Like I'll send you some samples and you can
Oh,
figure
yeah,
out what
just
you
use
love.
coffee, girl, I'm down.
No, I know, but listen. And so like what we can do is w- um I'm so jumping ahead. I'm so sorry to the audience.
They're like, "What?"
But like we're gonna get into further into your conversation talking about more of like your health. And but there can be a different charity that we can send 10 to 20% of the profits of that coffee. We'll get into more of the conversation, but you know where I'm going with this thought.
I love that, and I think, like,
Yeah.
you know, like we were talking about kind of in the beginning, like, so many of these companies and brands, like, make money, but they don't give it to the right places, and they keep
Life is fast, but every now and then you deserve a pause, a moment that's just for you. At Le Cafe, we believe that each cup of coffee should taste like a little bit of luxury. Handcrafted and locally roasted here in St. Louis, each of our single origin beans are carefully selected to give you the most unique and smoothest experience. Whether you like a light, medium, or dark roast, we got you. For those busy mornings or for my coffee lovers who prefer efficiency, we also have K-Cups. So go ahead and pour yourself a cup that tastes like self-care. Visit www.lecafe.us to bring the cafe experience home. Le Cafe, you deserve it.
for
Right.
themselves, and I feel like that'd be really healing for me and probably you as well, but also inclusive, and we need to do that, so we're going to.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
going to happen. We're going to make it happen. It's going to
we're
be,
gonna make
I'm so excited.
that's it.
Okay. So I'm sorry. I detracted you again. I'm telling you, there was so much into your story that I'm like, wait, I want to talk about it all. We need to like go into all the
I'm
chapters.
ready,
It's
let's do it.
great.
I see, I did that, like, 2 years ago, so I'm now like, "What the heck did I say? I gotta go re-listen to that."
It's probably gonna be really, like, fun and healing for you too to hear, like, old
Right.
versions of
Like, I'm
yourself,
so
you
baby.
know?
I'm so
When
baby.
when did you start your podcast? Like, what
So,
year was that?
it was 2024.
Okay. So, yeah, you just started, like, about a year after I started my podcast.
Look at us go.
Look at that.
Twins meant to
You're
be.
killing it. You're killing
No,
it.
so are you.
So tell me more. So tell me now. So you had this game plan of this wellness center that
Yep,
or gym that you would wanna do,
right.
and then you start going to college.
So, yes. I graduated high school, and the week before no, 2 weeks before I graduated, and mind you, I didn't think I wanted to walk the stage, and my journalism teacher who is ooh, I just got chills, oh my god. She goes, "You only graduate high school once, let alone at 15, you need to walk." And I was like, "Okay." So 2 weeks before I graduated, I ended up getting mono really bad, and I was not feeling well, and I was like, I'm gonna walk, I don't care, like, how shitty I feel, I'm going to walk." So I ended up recovering very slowly. Again, I think, like, what's so interesting about me is since I had such bad asthma, whenever I would get sick like that, it would go straight to my respiratory system, and it would
Wow.
just take forever for me to, like, get over it. But the mono is, like, a huge part of this story. So I ended up walking, and that was so surreal. The news came because, of the angle of the story. I graduated with my sister at 15. They were, like, obsessed with that story, and I was like, "Oh my god, why is the news here? Like, can I just walk the stage?"
Yeah.
I was so shy and so baby, like, I hated talking, which is so funny. Um, and yeah, so then I started college, and that was really insane, I think, to be with so many people that were older than me, and that was something that really upset me because they were like, "You were so young, like, why are you here? You don't belong here." And I got a lot of, like, age discrimination, which I talk a lot about in my first book, and during that time, again, I was a yoga instructor, so I was teaching yoga on the weekends and doing my own practice. I told my mom, I was like, "Mom, something's wrong, like, I can't do yoga, I'm not feeling well." I
Mm,
could not get through my own yoga practice, let alone teach, like, I just was so fatigued, so dizzy, lightheaded, and I was, like, fainting, and I was like, "What the heck is going on?" And it was kind of occurring a little bit over the summer, but I'm very, like, I'll try and figure it out on my own. I'm not gonna tell anyone and bother her and, like, burden her. She has a lot going on. And I was like, "I'm just gonna try a supplement. I'm gonna try this and this," like, being the little nutrition guru I was. And, it started getting really bad, and I told her, and, oh my god, it was like a summer of hell. I got so much lab work done. So at this point, it's April, and I was, like, still in exam season, still studying, but thankfully, I was doing, like, classes kind of like hybrid. So it was, like, some days in person, some days online. And I was getting lab test after lab test, just literally not feeling well, not knowing what's going on. And it took almost a year, but I got diagnosed with something called dysautonomia. And I can go into a little bit of what that means if you want me.
yeah. Yeah.
So, dysautonomia is a dysfunction of your autonomic nervous system. So, everyone that I tell about this, they're like, what the hell is an autonomic nervous system? It's this really
Yeah.
cool thing that you don't want to not work. Let me tell you that.
Yeah.
So, your autonomic nervous system controls things you don't have to think about your body doing: heart rate, blood pressure, circulation, blood flow, digestion, and so many other things. And for me, the lightheaded and dizziness, the fatigue, all of those lovely symptoms was my autonomic nervous system saying like, "Hey, babe, something's going on. We're not working properly."
Wow.
But it took so long for me to get diagnosed because it's a
Mm,
physical illness. So when I would sit down with my pediatrician for my checkup, my physical, whatever, he was like, "I don't know. It's all in your head. It's just it's anxiety. I don't know what's going on with you." And I was
oh
like,
God.
Sir, I'm not feeling well. I'm literally like not able to perform or function the way I know my body is supposed to. And during that, I was like, no, like this is not okay. And that's why I started my podcast because I knew if I was feeling like this, not feeling well and under the circumstances I was in, someone else out there is probably believing what these
For
doctors are
sure.
saying and thinking it is in their head and that they're crazy. And I wanted to create this space about healing and wellness and health, but also reminding people they're not alone in their struggles. So that's why
Mm,
to this date, I have an episode for everyone on my show because I wanted someone to feel safe and seen. And like, maybe you can't relate to nutrition or, body image, but you're into self identity or imposter syndrome. So I have an episode on that. And there's different avenues on the show, but it's this like safe space rooted in health and wellness and rewriting the story. And I really started it because of my physical pain that I was enduring and the lack of awareness. And I didn't think anyone would care or listen. And I thought only my mom would, but now it's like streamed all over the globe and it's insane. And I'm like, oh my God, ew, people are listening to me while they do their normal things. But that's so cool. And it's healing knowing like people feel safe and seen within my words. But it's been a journey with my health for sure. And that's something that I will not stop talking about because we need more awareness on this.
yeah. And I would say too, like, not only is it so incredible that you're dealing with all of this, but you're also thinking about other people, right? Like that is, you are so empathetic. Just like you said earlier, like that's incredible that you're like, I know how hard this was for me, but instead of festering, if you will, in your own pain and anger and just being alone, you're like, let me. I love like the line you said, like, this is where I'm like, this is gonna be the title of this episode. Like, let me take my mess and turn it into a message. And that's what you did. And that's what you're doing. And also, you do have skills. Like it is a gift. I'm sure you've honed it in more over time, but like even your first episode, I was riveted. I was riveted. You have a very good way of like telling stories and
Oh,
communicating clearly like what you've been through. So it's
and
incredible. You're definitely doing what you're supposed to be doing, for
that means
sure.
so much to me. I think it's easy to get in your own head and think like, "Ew, why am I doing this? What am I doing? What am I saying? I'm rambling." But if anything, I am empathetic, and that's why I do what I do, even if it's hard, even if I don't wanna talk about, hard things. I think people need to hear them, and if we don't talk
Yeah.
about the hard things, who will? And, I wanted to create the space so it could be done and someone could feel seen and safe, and, if my podcast's not for you, you don't gotta follow, you don't need to listen, but it's for whoever needs it, and that's why I continue to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like you said too, it's like it's even if it's just for you therapeutically, but the proof is in the pudding. Like it's spread, people are listening to it. I've listened to it. I want to continue listening to it. I want all my followers to listen to it. Like you are doing like a really good job. So,
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's
yeah.
like my favorite little thing in the entire world. I don't know, just I love talking to people and I love just spreading good messages and impacting people and just knowing I always say if you don't publish it, if you don't share it, whatever, like that idea, whatever it might be, you're not able to help someone or give them what they might need to heal. And I think if you have an idea in your heart for anyone listening, just do it. Like, what are you scared of? The scariest thing is being 80 and saying, wow, I never wrote the book. Wow, I never started
Right.
a podcast. Okay, so you get 2 listeners at first. So what? You keep doing it because even if maybe the analytic isn't showing or you're not seeing the listens, someone is finding that. Maybe they're not liking or commenting because they're not confident enough to, but eventually
Mhm.
someone that needs that will find it, will read it, will share it, whatever, and will be like, "Wow, like this is what I needed for 10 years or 20 years, whatever." And then you're giving them an outlet for them to heal, and that's so beautiful that if you don't share,
Absolutely.
oh,
And the price of entry is cringe.
1000%.
It's a combination of cringe and you thinking that you're amazing. Like you you know what I mean? Like you'll start off and you'll be like, I'm not even gonna lie. I started I started recording my podcast February 2023. I didn't post it until August 31st, 2023, because I was terrified that my podcast was gonna blow up overnight. I was gonna be an overnight sensation, forget my privacy, like I was gonna be a celebrity, like look out world, here I come. Not what happened at all. And that's okay.
That's okay.
It's been slow growth and I think it's been perfect, but it is funny for me. And that's why like now more realistically, every time like someone listens to my podcast, especially if I didn't know them and there wasn't like a direct connection, I'm like, wow, how cool is that? Like, you listen to my podcast? That's amazing.
I mean,
Because,
were you
like,
ready to fly out to LA? Were your bags packed? Probably not.
no,
Great.
no, I wasn't. I wasn't. I'll tell you honestly, like, I could only be a consumer for so long. And I loved podcasts as a consumer. I had some really dark times in my early 20s and listening to podcasts and listening to like-minded people or people go through similar struggles or challenges from a consumer perspective really, really healed me. And I realized that podcasts are an opportunity to have conversations with people because I would have to work at my desk job and I love to chit chat and you can't chit chat all day when you're working. So
Yeah.
like it was great because then I could like choose the conversations and end them whenever I wanted to, even if they weren't, without being rude. And I could pick the topics of conversation. I was like, oh, this is such an interesting way. And then I just thought, I gotta try this. And I remember I was like a guest on a podcast that was a Q&A live for a group. And I
Mhm.
had maybe like less than 2 minutes of camera time. And I didn't listen to the episode for 2 weeks because I was terrified to hear my voice.
So
And
real.
I was shaking. I was shaking. So it took time. Now I feel like I'm more comfortable. I think you and I are very similar in the fact that it's like once you get over that first hurdle of whatever it is you're scared of and you accomplish it, you're like, oh my gosh.
Like thrown
Like
into
beginnings are hard, but I could do anything.
1000%. And
All you have to do is show up.
it's so cool the opportunities it gives you. Like, I mean, I don't know. I like that I get to like slide into cute athletes' DMs and be like, "Hey, you want to be on my show?" Like, that's like the
Wait,
coolest thing ever.
stop it. That's so
Yeah.
fun.
Never know. Maybe that's my future husband. Who knows? Um,
Literally, go for it.
I mean, you never know, but the rooms that podcasting has put me in and like the opportunities is like insane. And now I'm like, wow, I used to be so scared of like public speaking and I wanted to vomit. Now I don't even care. Like it brings up your confidence. And I feel like you can
Yeah,
too.
100%. Podcasting is something that I think everyone should do. It just,
Agree.
podcasting, entrepreneurship, like, listen, I get that it's not for everyone, but like low key, shouldn't it be? Kind of like food service. Like everyone should work in food service at some point. It just makes you a better human.
Does,
You
and you
know?
learn a lot about yourself, and I think that's what's cool about life is you have the ability to learn
Yeah.
about yourself, and with podcasting, you can learn about others and apply it to yourself and maybe see things that you wouldn't have been able to see if you didn't, have that conversation.
Right. So correct me if I'm wrong, but is POTS the same thing?
Yep.
Okay.
So dysautonomia is an umbrella term, so it's like
Okay.
the autonomic nervous system dysfunction. POTS is a form of an autonomic dysfunction.
Okay, perfect. So then is POTS what you have, or are
Yes.
you still under? Okay. Yeah, I was doing some research on it because I was like, oh, this is like at the first time I really ever heard of it, but it's like really common
It is,
according to my studies,
which is so
especially with what?
it's so sad that it's so common and people don't
Yeah.
know how to treat it or want to
Yeah.
accept it.
And it happens like within your age range too, like with young girls, 15 to 20s usually when it happens. And it's usually set off by something. So you think it was the mono at your
I think
graduation?
so. I think so. I really do, and I've had scientists and doctors really, like, think about this, and a lot of them have, like, proven that. I mean, for a lot of people, viral infections are what do it. It really happens after COVID. I've never had COVID, thankfully, and I have been vaccinated for it, so I really think it was the mono, but it's so sad that so many people got it after COVID because it's like, if we didn't have the COVID pandemic, I wonder if we wouldn't have been able to develop this stuff.
Wow. That's wild.
So
And
crazy.
so, but it hasn't stopped you. Like
It
you
hasn't,
are,
like, I
yeah.
mean, it's tried, like, like I joked in the beginning, like, if I'm in the ER, I'm posting content about it. I want people because I'll be so honest with you, I had this amazing girl that I met actually at a pageant that I kinda just did for haha fun, shits and giggles. Sorry, I keep saying bad words, hopefully that's allowed here.
No, that's totally allowed. Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
You're good.
And it was something that, like, the mayor of our town wanted me to do, and I was like, "Ew, like, I don't like that. That's not my space. That's so, like, clean and cut, and I'm not, like, your typical Barbie girly." Like, maybe I kinda look like Barbie sometimes, but, like,
I
no.
was literally thinking that. I'm like, you look like Barbie.
Don't put me in that scene, like, and I ended up helping this girl feel better because someone called her ugly, so I was like, "Okay." But I met this, like, I was able to be sweet to her and tell her she wasn't ugly, but I met this girl that was, like, a pageant queen, and I was like, "I want you on my podcast because I feel like that's a good angle." And on my podcast, she was like, "I compare myself to you all the time." And I was like, "Why?" And I was like, "My life isn't perfect, like, I know what I've been through. Why are you comparing yourself?" And I decided from that moment on, I was going to share not all of the horrible aspects of my life, but the little, "Oh, I'm at the ER," or, "Oh, I'm flared up today," "Oh, I'm not doing well." So people don't just think Rylin Rossano is a perfect author and podcast host and wears cute outfits and her life is amazing. I wanted them to meet me in vulnerability and see, like, wow, she struggles and I'm just like her sometimes with my struggles, and that doesn't define me either. And I
Yeah.
wanted people to get that message across because I think social media paints this highlight reel of, wow, like, you're posting on a boat or you're posting with your friends and I'm at a funeral, my life sucks and is shit because I'm not on a boat. But we forget that that person is choosing to post that moment in time. You don't know what's going on in their life. Maybe that's an old photo. Maybe that's what they wanted to post. We have control over when and what we share. And it's not this like, oh my God, my life is perfect moment. Maybe that person's crying all weekend and wanted to post their pictures from Italy to feel better. So that is something that I decided that I would do while doing all of this. I was never going to come across as a perfect, amazing, you know, my life is clean cut movie type, you know, style. I wanted people to realize like, wow, she's an author and a podcast host and is doing what she does, but also has days where she doesn't feel well her in her body and her don't agree and she has to go to the ER and get fluids and that's something that I'm really proud of. Because it's hard to
Yeah.
show that stuff. It feels like being naked in the street. Literally feels like being naked in the street because I'm like, wow, I'm sharing something so vulnerable and it gives people a reason to not like me. But also, if you don't like me for sharing my struggles, then you're going to hate when you find out that I write books.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've always found that like whenever I lose follower, I
Right.
always gain 3 more eventually.
Right.
You know
It
what I
gets
mean?
that are more aligned, which is cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, you're right. You don't always get that validation for sharing that behind the scenes stuff, the tough stories.
You don't know
But
who's not.
every so often, like someone will text you months, weeks later, they'll see you in person, they'll be like, you know what? I appreciate so much what you're sharing. And it's like, wow, okay. You just never know who's watching and who you're impacting.
You never know. And I don't do it for the, oh, feel better, or I hope you're okay. Like, okay, yeah, like if you say that to me, like I'll appreciate it. That's amazing. Thank you so much. But it's more for like someone who's sitting there like, wow, all I see on Instagram is, pretty girls in bikinis. And then they see a story from me and they're like, wow, Rylan's having a hard day and is still doing what she does. I'm not alone in my struggles. That's why I share that stuff.
Yeah. So, what is something that you're working on right now? Like a project that you're really excited about?
I'm working on my third book right now, which is kind of cool.
Oh, hell yeah. Good for you.
I mean, I'm not gonna like rush to get this one out. Not that I have with the other ones, but this one doesn't feel like I'm ready to end it. Like it just keeps like unfolding. So when the time comes for it to be released, I will release it. But I'm working on that right now and I'm really excited and it's really cool the angle that I'm taking with it. You want me to share it? I can.
Yeah. Well, let's start first. Let's go with your first book. Give a little overview what that's about, your second book, and then we'll do a little sneak preview of the third.
Okay, so my first book is called Once Upon a Time, I Survived Myself, and it's a poetic healing memoir written about my life for anyone who's been through anything hard to see themselves in my story, which is really scary to put your story into words and have people like perceive it because when you share something, you lose control over it. But the feedback that I've gotten for that is incredible. A lot of people have told me like now they're inspired to write their own story and share their own story. And I'm like, that's so wholesome because that's what I wanted people to take away. Or someone said that they took it to the doctors with them and showed them about POTS and they think that they have it. And I was like, that's everything because now I'm
Yeah.
giving you maybe the terminology for what's going on within your body. And just knowing that I can do that for people is why I write and continue to show up, even when it's hard for me. So that book is kind of a love letter for anyone who's ever felt too much or not enough or have struggled with mental health, self-identity, chronic illness, and really anything in general. There's a page in there if you've ever been through anything hard that you can relate to. It's on Amazon for $9.99 if you want to check it out. No pressure.
I love it. Yeah.
But my second book, this one's really emotional. And when I kind of in the beginning mentioned, like, when I was 18, it hit me. I was standing at my book signing and I was like, it's so weird that people are literally coming to show up for me, but I feel like something is missing within my life. And I got this like idea for this title called Everything Was Here But You. And
Mm.
this book touches on love, loss, grief, and this weird feeling of I'm building this beautiful life. It feels like someone or something is missing. And that book I love because I'll always relate to it. I'll always like probably feel a little bit lonely in with what I'm doing, but I think maybe
Yeah.
at the end of the day, nothing's missing. Maybe you just need to be there.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah,
important because grief is a hard conversation for people to talk about, and it exists in so many different areas. So,
100%.
and the thing that people don't even talk about sometimes is sometimes there's like even that moment we talked about earlier in the podcast where it's like sometimes we have grief over versions of what could have been for us
Yeah,
if our life would have taken a different trajectory, right?
I agree.
Hold on. That's my mom.
Oh my
I'm
God,
recording a podcast.
It's nice.
hi.
Oh, it's so funny.
But no, I agree, and I think like, what I love about that book is like it touches on so many different things. Like, not just the you is kind of up to the person reading to interpret.
Yeah.
It can be a relationship, it can be maybe your dog, maybe you lost your dog, maybe you lost your grandma, you lost a loved one, you lost a boyfriend. It doesn't matter, like whatever is missing is up for you to decide. But I just think it's such a human book and it talks so much about like real feelings we all have but didn't know how to put into words. I put them into words, so hopefully that will resonate with someone. I think it's important to try and give someone the resources that they might need. That one's also on Amazon. All my books are on Amazon. You just got to search my first and last name and they'll pop up. And if they resonate, I hope you enjoy them.
And I'm going to link them in the bio. So if people want them, they'll be in the bio below so people can find them.
So book 3, I'm not really like sure about the title, so I'm not gonna like share the title yet, but
Yeah.
what I'm like throwing around is the concept of how when you hear like negative words as a kid, they follow you and it doesn't matter how successful you are, you'll always have like those words in the back of your mind. And I think like this book is like showing people, like, it doesn't matter the success or where you are in your life, like, sometimes your self-worth will be impacted, and even if you develop confidence, in the middle of the night, you're still gonna think, "Can I do it? Because my 6th grade math teacher told me I was dumb," or, maybe someone in my life didn't believe in me, and I think just bringing those feelings to the forefront of our brain is really important, so that book is kind of like a psychological twist on that, and I'm excited.
It's gonna be great. I'm excited. Take your time, take all the time you
Maybe I'll be
need.
one to drop it so then I can, like, celebrate with a drink.
Oh, that's cute. I love that.
I
I
want my
love that.
first drink to be a, like, coffee, like, margarita, or what's the no, that's not the word.
Espresso
Espresso
martini.
espresso martini, not a coffee margarita.
Espresso martinis are so good.
For
Do
sure.
they have like a cheesecake factory by you?
Yes.
I had the best espresso martini of my life from the Cheesecake Factory. So I know you can get them anywhere, but like just saying that was one of the best places. So just
You're gonna have to come down for my 21st, and we'll
I
drink.
love it. What
Deal.
is that? 2, 3 years from now? 2 years?
2 years, November 1st.
Okay. Ah, so exciting. So many big things are going to be in store for
I'm
you.
really happy
Um,
I'm
I
glad
could
awesome.
literally talk to you forever. I know we're just scratching the surface. I know there's going to be future episodes we're going to do together, but I just wanted people to kind of get a little taste of you. And I have this tradition at the end of every podcast episode. I
Okay.
don't think I prepped you for this, so it's gonna be real and raw. This whole podcast is based on this Hebrew quote, which is "Eze chacham halomein mikol adam," which means one who is wise is someone who learns from everyone. And we have learned so much from you. You've accomplished so much in 19 years. I know you're going to do so many great things with your life, but if you can just leave us with like one life lesson or favorite quote, what would that be?
Be scared and do it anyways. Again, because if you stay stuck, nothing productive comes from staying stuck. And, at the end of the day, like, we all have struggles, but you can't sit in the floor. You can't sit in the corner of the floor and eat ice cream for the rest of your life. You have to get up and do something with them. Rewrite the
Yeah.
story, start the podcast, write the book. Even if you're scared, do it anyways. You never know where it will take you.
So good. This was so good. So what can my audience do to support you?
Check out my podcast, Take Care of Your Body by RY. You can search my name on Google. It's Rylin Rossano. My books, my podcast, all the Rylin stuff, some cool articles about me will be there. You can follow me on Instagram. It's RYLINROSEE. And just say, hey, if you ever need anything, my DMs are open. It's a safe space. It's a community. So I chat back. Trust me, I don't shut up. So I'll be here if anyone needs me. If you're going through anything hard, I'm an open ear.
Yeah, and I could attest to that because you have a great energy.
Oh,
I meant to say that earlier in the text, but it's like I feel like it's not always so easy to convey warmth through text, especially if you don't know the person. But like immediately, like you have been such a hype girl. You've been so sweet over text. I'm like, you just have such a warm energy and it really comes through over the DMs. So
that's sweet. No, it's
yeah, I would definitely recommend people reaching out to you because you're very authentic. So
that means so much to me. No, I try to keep it real. Again, you never know what someone's going through, and it's easy, I think, to misinterpret people and think like, oh wow, her life's perfect. But again, you never know what that person's dealing with, and I want to keep it real on Insta.
yeah, this was so great. Thank you so much for coming on. Let's continue this conversation. Don't go anywhere because I'm gonna do my little spiel to end this, but then I want to just touch base with you before we click off. Okay. Well, guys, this was another amazing episode. Thank you so much for listening or watching. And if you're not currently watching, the video can be found on Spotify and YouTube. And YouTube is actually where I'm primarily trying to grow this platform. So if you're not already subscribed, what are you doing with your life? Please go subscribe. And please share this episode with someone who you think would benefit from it. Hope you guys have a great week. Let's get it. Let's go.